Every family has a dish or two that they always make during the holidays. Everyone's got something that's their favorite. Well, in my family, that means there's at least 40 different favorite foods. That's right, I've got 36 people on my mom's side of the family, and that's a lot of people. So big, we have our own family cookbook. It's amazing. But I want to tell you today about my favorite holiday snack. It's the pumpkin bar. I've made some today. We'll have some later. It's a tasty treat that's so easy to bake, even you can make it. How do I know? Last night was the very first time I ever made it before. It was easy. I mean, I've never baked anything before, and it's awesome. First, I looked through my cookbook and found my recipe. Second, I baked the pumpkin base. And third, I made the delicious icing. And I'm going to teach you how to do it. To begin, let's take a look at the Cookbook of the Gods, the Roberts Family Cookbook. You're probably wondering, what is this amazing text before my eyes? Well, it's the culmination of every favorite recipe in my entire family. There's about 3 per person, and so there's a lot of stuff. One recipe in the cookbook, as you've already guessed, is the pumpkin bar. I'm saying pumpkin. Like most cookbooks, the Roberts Family Cookbook has a table of contents. In this particular one, the different items are sorted alphabetically by each type of meal. There's appetizers and beverages, soups and salads, vegetables and side dishes, main dishes, breads and rolls, desserts, my personal favorite, cookies and candy, and a section for everything else that doesn't fit in those categories. Once you've found a particular dish that you'd like to make, just flip through the page and find what you need. After gathering your supplies, you can start the baking process. The second most important part of the pumpkin bar, the pumpkin base, needs to be baked in an oven. You can't simply throw everything in a tray and plop it in the oven, though. You have to follow a process. The first step to making any baked good is to separate your wet and dry ingredients before adding them together. The reason you do this, according to John Baricelli, host of PBS's Everyday Baking, is when you combine them all too quickly, the flour absorbs all of the liquid, and so it doesn't evenly disperse the wet and dry throughout the whole baked good. In order to avoid this, slowly apply the dry ingredients to the wet ones while using a beater to thoroughly mix the dry ingredients into the wet concoction. The second step to making the pumpkin base is to pour your now mixed up ingredients into a baking tray. This is an integral part to any baking process, as it is where the mushy mush of your batter becomes a baking product. According to education.com, the gases produced by heated baking powder makes the pumpkin light and fluffy. Oil keeps it moist while it cooks, and heat allows the proteins in the egg to change the shape of the pumpkin base to let it keep its shape. After the pumpkin base has been baked, it needs to sit and cool so that it can settle. While it settles, is the perfect time to work on the absolute most important part of a pumpkin bar, the icing. Now, the cream cheese icing, though it only has a few ingredients, requires a delicate process to get the desired consistency. According to howtoeatacupcake.net, it is important that you don't overbeat the icing. Doing so breaks down the cream cheese, and it turns the icing into a grainy substance that is too soft to hold its own shape. So after you've beaten it, the icing will have a drippy, glaze-like look to it, and you can spread it all over your pumpkin. And then you put that in the fridge. You let it set. But before you let it set, you have to put toothpicks and saran wrap on it. So that way the saran wrap doesn't dry to the icing. And so the fridge doesn't dry out the pumpkin bars. All right, once all these steps have been completed, you can then chow down on your delicious pumpkin base. Now that we've gone over to how to find our recipes, bake the pumpkin base, and more importantly, make the icing, I'd like to give you the recipe for these delicious treats so that you too can enjoy the food of the gods after today. I printed out recipes for everyone so that you can make it in the future. I'll pass those out.